Hello Blazers, it is I, Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and in today's video guys, we're gonna be talking about the wackest Russian rapper alive, Timati. Now who exactly is this dollar store B-Tech looking ass Drake right here? Well, a lot of my fans, a lot of people that are interested in Russia actually know about this guy and constantly ask me to make a video on him, and they think he's a good rapper because they don't know the context of which he exists in. So I decided that I'm gonna make this video today to describe to you guys why this guy is an absolute clown. Now this dude is also famous for like having a gang that basically tries to attack anybody who says any bad words against him. So I might be putting myself in dire danger right here, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Now before we get into it, I want to shout out the sponsor of today's video, that is Ridge Wallets. That is right guys, I got it. You know what it is, Ridge Wallets are these very slick metal plated wallets, very nicely, holds your cards in there, you can pop them out, has a money clip on the back, very convenient, fits in your pocket, very useful. I've been actually using Ridge and they're really nice, really like the best wallet I've ever had, to be honest with you. They offer a lifetime warranty, free returns, also free worldwide shipping. So if you want to get yourself a slick wallet just like this, make sure to go over to the link in the description, ridge.com/NFKRZ, and get 10% off of your purchase. And yeah, use code NFKRZ, obviously, I forgot to say that. Supports the channel, supports your Russian boy, gets you a slick wallet. Massive thanks to Ridge for sponsoring this video, and let's get into it. So, who exactly is Timati? He is a Russian rapper, a clothing designer, makes music that is basically bootlicking the Russian government and Vladimir Putin, and basically just posts cringe for a living. Now Timati, whose real name is Timur Yunusov, is a major figure in Russian hip-hop community and a head and a creator of a musical collective called Black Star. Yeah, thanks for that one as well, by the way, for ruining the name of the perfectly fine Mos Def and Talib Kweli group. Alright, let me get into the history of Timati, because if you want to understand his abysmalness, we need to go back in time. Timati was born in 1983 in a pretty wealthy family and spent his childhood in the center of Moscow, where, you know, where the most expensive apartments are in Russia, periods, and some of the most expensive apartments in Europe per se. As a teenager, he's lived in Los Angeles for 3 years, and he's also studied in one of the most expensive universities in all of Russia. Really not started from the bottom, now we're here story right here, is it? That already makes this guy not look like Drake. Although I'm not sure that Drake started from the bottom either, but we're not gonna be talking about that. So in the early 2000s, Timati was actually a back vocalist of a very famous rapper of that time, a teenage rapper called Detzel. Detzel was a very big thing in Russia back in the day. He actually made some banger songs, he was very unusual, he had dreads, and Timati was essentially his sidekick and was trying to get into the rap game by, you know, orbiting around him essentially. So they used to be best friends, but they actually had a falling out because Detzel actually decided to leave the mainstream rap in Russia and become more underground. And Detzel actually became very oppositional. He's made many songs where he was talking about government corruption, stuff like that. Also in the early 2000s in Russia, a very dark time, he was like on national TV talking to skinheads in the audience or whatever about how like we should treat everybody equally and not by the way they look or whatever. So, you know, this guy has been based, and he will always stay based because he actually passed away very recently, which is kind of sad, but it's actually funny how this guy used to be very good friends with Timati, but now Timati is this like pro-Russian rapper that makes songs saying how Putin is his best friend, literally. Basically bootlegs the Russian government on any occasion. Made a song recently basically bootlicking the mayor of Moscow. The context was basically that there's been a bunch of protests in Moscow because there's been an election to the Moscow State Duma, and a lot of the candidates from the opposition actually were not allowed to the election at all by the government of Moscow for the reasons that were just complete BS. There were actually thousands of people supporting these oppositional candidates, and basically the committee just refused to register them as candidates at all. It was absolute injustice, and people got on the streets. There were a bunch of protests that were very massive. There's been a lot of police clashes actually. People got arrested. A lot of police brutality basically went down. It just showed, you know, how authoritarian the Russian regime has become. And so Timati with another Russian rapper, Goof, they've made a song where they praise they praised the mayor of Moscow for allowing this to happen, basically, and they said that I don't take part in demonstrations, I don't talk shit, you know? So basically they dissed everybody who took part in demonstrations, actually, you know, wanted a just and a fair election to the Moscow State Duma. They were like, yeah, screw that, I'll just bootleg the government some more. So I mean, it's pretty clear that this guy is basically just a bootlegger of the government. So he probably might be on a paycheck, so you know, that's pretty bad, that's pretty cringe, bro. But there's more reasons why Timati is cringe. In about mid-2000s to late 2000s, for example, he's also had multiple cases where he basically paid major Western rappers to do features with him. So for example, this guy has a song with Snoop Dogg. And let me just talk about Snoop Dogg for a second, by the way. Snoop Dogg, he literally chases any paycheck. As long as it pays, he will get on any song, in any movie, whatever. Like, having a Snoop Dogg feature is not even a flex. It's not like, yo, Snoop Dogg got on the track with me, that means I'm Snoop Dogg's level, you know? No, you just pay him money, because like Snoop Dogg, he appeared in like terrible Russian comedy movies that in the whole movie was actually an ad campaign for Odnoklassniki, which is a terrible Russian social network. It's like the Russian boomer Facebook, essentially. So there's been an entire comedy trash movie in Russia based on this boomer Facebook social network, and Snoop Dogg starred in it because they paid him to. So this just shows you like the level Snoop Dogg will go to if there's a paycheck. He's a legend, don't get me wrong, he's a hip-hop legend, but he will get on a feature with Corey Feldman, for God's sake. So him having a feature with Timati, you know, honestly, it's not even that cool. He's also had a feature with Busta Rhymes, for example, which I'm sure he paid for as well, so you know, kinda cringe, bro. Now, apart from all that, Timati has also been in the news lately for essentially buying stuff from Aliexpress and then rebranding it and selling it to his fans. So basically, there's been a clothing line, a new collection from Black Star Wear. Yeah, that's what his clothing line is called. This guy is basically Kanye West. He has his own Yeezy line, essentially. I mean, only if the case was that Kanye West's Yeezy line is just clothes bought from Taobao that he rebranded. But yeah, so basically, Timati had a new clothing line in a collab with the Russian Armed Forces. Yeah, seriously. So his clothing line, his clothing company did a collab with the Russian Armed Forces. And as you know, usual stuff, shorts, pants, shirts, you know, jackets, whatever. So, you know, it was all well and good, but the problem was that people actually found very, very similar, if not identical clothing on AliExpress being sold for like 10 times less the price. So what Timati essentially did is that he bought a bunch of clothes from AliExpress, rebranded them, and then sold them basically in a collab with the Russian Armed Forces for 10 times the price that they were sold on AliExpress. That is very patriotic, you know, buying clothes made in China and rebranding them as if they're like Russian made and they're made in a collaboration with the Russian Armed Forces. This is real Russian stuff. Supporting the Chinese economy, yes, that is Russian patriotism. There's also been another case of this. For example, he actually sells wireless headphones, believe it or not. Black Star brand's wireless headphones, basically, and people also found out that essentially these headphones that they're selling and that they're claiming that they're like unique developments that they made them, they're actually just from AliExpress as well. They're literally buying stuff from AliExpress and reselling them for 10 times the price to brain dead Timati fans. You know what, honestly, I respect it. This guy knows how to do his business, I guess. Like, his music is absolute garbage, and I'm not even saying that because I'm biased, because he bootlegs the Russian government. His other non-political songs are absolute garbage as well. Like, his lyrics are terrible, the production is very, very generic, and all the other artists on his label, they're whack. They're whack. And I'm not hating on Russian rap as a whole. There are really good Russian rappers. This guy, though, and his crew, nah. That doesn't fly with me at all. Anthony Fantano here, you guys. It's not good. Now also, as I've mentioned, apart from having his own clothing line, he actually has a chain of fast food restaurants which is called Black Star Burger. And actually they're pretty good, I have to admit. One opened up recently in Chelyabinsk, my city, and I've tried it, and the burgers, I cannot hate on them. They're actually kind of decent. And I hate the fact that I'm bringing money to the Timati Empire by eating their burgers, but they're good. They're really good. So again, like, his business and the way he's making money is kind of genius, but I cannot respect him, honestly. Now, also, another very funny thing about Timati is that he really likes basically taking part in ads. He really likes, you know, selling out. You know, he's making enough money as it is, but he really likes brand deals. And the brand deals that he chooses to do are very funny. So for example, actually one of his most famous songs, ironically, is a song he did for an advertisement of a Russian remedy for sore throat. It's like a spray for sore throats called Tantum Verde Forte, and he did an ad for it. It's such a viral meme in Russia, it's crazy. Yeah, it kind of bangs actually, you know? There are a lot of people in the comments actually saying that this song he did for this advertisement is actually better than most of his discography and his actual songs. And honestly guys, I have to agree, because that's true. He also did another song for an advertisement. He did one for, actually, very ironically, he did it for Aliexpress.
Aliexpress. На Aliexpress быстрее. Нашел часы и ссылку всем друзьям отправил. Товар дешевле, Aliexpress нам предоставил. Ты залетай на Aliexpress быстрее. Ты залетай на Aliexpress быстрее.
Yeah, everything about this is literally so late stage capitalism. This is crazy. But yeah, you know, he's doing music advertisements, songs advertisements for Aliexpress as well, which is very ironic considering how most of his clothing and stuff that he sells and claims that they make is just stuff that's bought from AliExpress and then sold for 10 times the price. So maybe he's just being ironic about it, and that's why he's advertising AliExpress, and he's like, hey, yeah, you know, screw the haters, I actually own the fact that all my shit is just resold AliExpress stuff, you know? But honestly guys, I don't know, I doubt that he has the mental capacity to actually be that ironic about himself, because this guy, like I've mentioned, has like a mob that actually attacks a lot of the people that would often talk about him. There's been multiple situations like that, so I don't really think he's that humorous or ironic about himself, and he can make fun of himself. I think he legit thinks he's the genius and the greatest musician to ever live or whatever. Not to even mention that most of his music videos are just complete product placements, like for example this one where he's just eating Lay's chips. This video is literally just a product placement. Like, this guy has absolutely zero artistic integrity. And also he like constantly claims that yes, he was born in a rich family, but he you know, it's not like he didn't have to struggle, and you know, he's been struggling and he wasn't that rich or whatever. But that's not true, is it? And especially he's pretty much been in circles of Russia's richest youth and like the Russian show business since he was a kid, and he's had connections with like music producers since he was a kid pretty much. So that's just bullshit. Yeah, you know, it's not like he started from the bottom once again. And again, I was talking about Detso earlier, the guy that was actually based, who used to be friends with Timati or whatever, who Timati was a psychic of, and that guy actually was a son of a major music producer. But the thing is that he has a whole different story to him. He actually had a falling out with his dad because his dad wanted him to be very, very mainstream, so he decided to go underground and basically just do whatever he wants to. And he was very anti-Putin, very outspoken of his political position, and you know, the guy was based. I actually respect him, and his music was a lot better than Timati's, that's for sure. And here we have Timati, which is a completely different situation. This guy was born rich, had connections just like Detso, but the thing is that he just took the convenient route of bootlicking the government and making terrible music and reselling clothes from AliExpress for 10 times the price. Genius. But the burgers are pretty good though, you know, I have to give him that. You're doing a good job on that one, Timati. Don't send your goons out to attack me, okay? Please. Anyways guys, that was pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope you guys, I've given you guys a bit of more context on why I think Timati is a complete clown, and hopefully you agree with me. You guys might ask me what actual Russian rappers I do enjoy, and actually I think I'm gonna make a video on Russian rappers I actually like and that I recommend you to listen to. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I think that's actually a pretty good video topic for the future. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. If you guys did enjoy it, please make sure to slap that like on it, and as well guys, if you want to support the channel, go over to down in the description, there's my Patreon link. I really appreciate all the Patreon donations and it really helped me out a lot, so thank you. And yeah guys, that is pretty much it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.